Lunch break. We're on Job 2. Again the day came to be that the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yehovah. And Satan also came among them to present himself before Yehovah. And Yehovah said to Satan, "From where do you come?" And Satan answered Yehovah and said, "From diligently searching in the earth, and from walking up and down in it." And Yehovah said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Iob, that there is none like him on the earth, a perfect and straight man who fears Elohim and turns aside from evil? And still he holds fast to his integrity, although you incited me against him to destroy him without cause." And Satan answered Yehovah and said, "Skin for skin, and all that a man has he would give for his life. But stretch out your hand, please, and strike his bone and his flesh. He would not, if he would not curse you to your face." And Yehovah said to Satan, "See, he is in your hand, only spare his life." And Satan went out from the presence of Yehovah, and struck Iob with loathsome sores from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. And he took a potsherd with which to scrape himself while he sat in the midst of the ashes. And his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse Elohim and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Indeed, should we accept only good from Elohim and not accept evil?" In all this, Iob did not sin with his lips. And 3 of his friends of Iob heard of all this evil that came on him, and each one came from his own place: Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. And they met together to come to sympathize with him and to comfort him. And they lifted up their eyes from a distance and did not recognize him. And they lifted their voices and wept. And each one tore his robe and sprinkled dust on his head toward the heavens. Then they sat down with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that the pain was very great. After this, Iob opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. And Iob spoke and said, "Let the day perish on which I was born, and the night it was said, a male child has been conceived. Let that day be darkness. Let not Eloah from above seek for it, nor let light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadow of death buy it back. Let a cloud dwell on it. Let all the blackness, the day, frighten it. That night let darkness seize it. Let it not be included among the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Look, let that night be silent. Let no singing come into it. Let those curse it who curse the day, who are ready to stir up Leviathan. Let the stars of its twilight be dark. Let it wait for light, but have none. And let it not see the eyelashes of the dawn. For it did not shut up the doors of my mother's womb, nor hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die from the womb, come forth from the belly and expire? Why were there knees to receive me, or breasts for me to suck? For now I would have been lying in peace. I would have slept. Then I would have been at rest. with sovereigns and counselors of the earth who built ruins for themselves, or with rulers who had gold who filled their houses with silver, or as a hidden, untimely birth as infants who never saw light. There the wrong cease raging, and there the weary are at rest. The prisoners rest together. They do not hear the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Why does he give light to the sufferer and life to the bitter of being? Who are waiting for death, but it does not come, and search for it more than treasure, who rejoice exceedingly. They are glad when they find the burial site. Why does he give light to a man whose way has been hidden, and whom Eloah has hedged in? For my sighing comes before I eat, and my groanings pour out like water. For that which I greatly feared has come upon me, and that which I dreaded has overtaken me. I have not been at ease, nor have I been undisturbed, nor been at rest, yet trouble comes. And Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, If one tries a word with you, would you become impatient? But who is able to withhold himself from speaking? See, you have instructed many, and you have made weak hands strong. You have made weak hands strong. Your words have raised up him who was stumbling, and you have strengthened the weak knees. But now it has come to you, and you are impatient. It strikes you, and you are troubled. Is not your reverence your trust, the integrity of your ways your expectancy? Remember, please, who, being innocent, has ever perished? And where have the straight ones ever been cut off? According to what I have seen, those who plow wickedness and sow suffering reap the same. Though the breath of Eloah then perish, and through the spirit of his nostrils they are consumed. The roaring of the lion and the voice of the fierce lion, but the teeth of the young lion shall be broken. An old lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. And unto me a word was secretly brought, and my ear received a little of it. Amid thoughts from visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on men, fear came upon me, and trembling, causing my bones to shake greatly. Then a spirit passed before my face. The hair on my body stood up. It stood still, but I could not discern its appearance. A form was before my eyes. Silence, then a voice I heard. Is mortal man more righteous than Eloah? Is man more clean than his Maker? Look, he puts no trust in his servants, and he changes his messengers with straying. How much more those who dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushing like a moth. From morning till evening they are beaten down. They perish forever with no one regarding. Are not the cords of their tents pulled up? They die without wisdom. Call out, please, is there anyone to answer you? And to which of the set-apart ones would you turn? For wrath kills the fool, and envy slays the simple. I myself have seen the fool taking root, and suddenly his home was cursed. His sons are far from safety. They are crushed in the gate, with no one to deliver. The hungry eat up his harvest, taking it even from the thorns. And the snare snaps up their wealth. For evil does not come from the dust, nor does trouble spring from the ground. For a man is born for trouble, and the sparks fly upward. But as for me, I would seek El, and I would submit my case to Elohim, who is doing great and unsearchable deeds, innumerable wonders, who is giving rain on the earth's face, and is sending waters on the field's face, to set the lowly on high, and those who mourn shall be lifted to safety, thwarting the schemes of the crafty, so that their hands do not work effectively. Catching the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of schemers are swept away. By day they encounter darkness, and at noon they grope as in the night. But he saves the needy from the sword of their mouth, from the clutches of the strong. Thus the poor have expectancy, and the unrighteousness shuts her mouth. Look, blessed is the man whom Eloah does reprove, and does not despise the discipline of the Almighty. For he bruises, but he binds up. He smites, but his hands heal. In 6 distresses he delivers you, and in 7 no evil strikes you. In scarcity of food he shall redeem you from death, and in battle from the power of the sword. When the tongue scorches, you are shielded, and you have no fear when destruction comes. At destruction and at starvation you laugh, and you have no fear of the beast of the earth. For your covenant is with the stones of the field, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with you. And you shall know that your tent is in peace, and shall visit your tent and not sin, and shall know that your seed are many, and your offspring like the grass of the earth. You shall come to the burial site in ripe old age, like the stacking of grain in its season. Look, this we have searched out. It is so. Hear it, and know it for yourself.